There are questions in Nigeria that carry weight long after they are asked. Family gatherings are always full of life, Afro beats in the air, the scent of jollof rice and suya lingering, and the sound of phones flashing memories. But amid the chatter and laughter, there's always one question that shifts the energy. When are you getting married? It's a question that never seems to go away. It's there in every group chat, every Sunday call with mom or dad, always lurking in the background. Sometimes it's light-hearted, thrown out as a joke. Other times, it feels sharper, like it's the only thing that matters. Amina had gotten used to it, but the weight of it never really left her. It was a classic Naija party. Bluetooth speakers thumping Burna Boy, someone live streaming on Instagram, and kids weaving between chairs. Amina floated through the crowd. Her smile easy, laughter ready. Also, 2 steps ahead of the auntie who wanted to pray for her to find a husband. Later that night, after the last jollof plate was scraped clean and the last thank you for coming said, Amina found herself sitting with her mom on the balcony. The city lights blinking softly beyond the windows and a cool breeze swept through the air. They were both a little tipsy from the sweet wine, still chuckling over an uncle's bad dance moves. But in the stillness, Mama Kemi's voice softened. If I could do it over, Amina, maybe I would have taken more risks, she said quietly. I always wanted my own boutique. I wanted to see London, but I thought marriage was the ticket to all of that. I thought love will fill up every empty space. Amina's heart tightened. Her mother's words hit a nerve. Then why, Mama, do you want it so much for me? She asked. The question hanging in the air, heavy and full of unspoken emotions. Mama Kemi paused, a distant look in her daughter's eyes. Then she said, because I want you to have what I was afraid to ask for. Maybe if I push hard enough, you'll outturn the regrets that haunt me. Across town, Adaora sat in the glow of her laptop, the room dim and quiet, the sound of her father watching football faintly reaching her ears. She wasn't watching the game. Her mind was elsewhere. Her father's voice came from the living room. Adaora, you know the rule. No child of mine is marrying from your mother's side. Their ways aren't our ways. You remember the drama. It was about family, tradition, and the unspoken line that divided them. The line that had always made her feel like she wasn't quite enough for him. That there was something about her mother's side of the family that he could never accept. Adaora didn't want to argue. It wasn't about defying her father. It was about the suffocating pressure to live up to an image that she had never fully embraced. Her father's voice, though calm, carried an unspoken fear. He had struggled with his own marriage. He had seen the cracks between families, the quiet conflict that tore them apart, but never saw how his own fears shaped the rules he passed down to Adaora. She closed her laptop, feeling the weight of his words pressing on her chest. What if I didn't want the life he wanted for me? The next morning, Amina and Adaora met at a quiet cafe. Amina spoke of her mother's lost dreams, of the small sacrifices that built her family, and the quiet regrets that lingered in her mother's heart. Adaora spoke of her father's invincible wounds, the long history of feeling rejected by her mother's family, and how that fear had created the rules she was meant to follow. In each other, they found the courage to acknowledge their parents' sacrifices without being bound by them, to see their parents as people, flawed and human, just as they are. Our mothers, our fathers, love us with the best of their wisdom, but sometimes that wisdom carries the weight of their own regret. At some point, every daughter, every son must step into the light, carrying both the gift of tradition and the courage to forge their own path, because joy in the end is not about living someone else's dream. It's about finding the strength to create your own. If you ever felt the weight of family pressure or struggled with old traditions while chasing new dreams, you are not alone. Share your story in the comments. Let's talk about healing, letting go, and what it truly means to become yourself. If you enjoyed this story, click the like button and subscribe for more captivating African stories. Up next is the story of Somto and how his uncles tried to take advantage of his tragedy.